Gonna invite people, see if there's any night owls out there. I don't know what happened. I'm doing like a little I'm doing like a little casual. And I'm giving give people a little time to like kind of show up, okay? So, things are just scandalous. Okay. Scandalous. I hope everybody's doing fine, great. I don't know. This has been a insane week, but I have some things to say. I have some things to say. This has been a week saturated with information. And I am not just talking about like a physical, somebody calls you, scheduling, nothing like this. It is an energetic invasion of conversations of, are you truly on that journey? Are you like honestly, truly on that journey? Because in the culture of which we're living in right now, today, everything is a trend. And I just feel like the true integrity of, are you really healed, shows by frequency, you guys. Because we got so much noise in our reality. But you know what's different between the noise and the frequency? The noise sounds like if you were in a band and you know that big old metal, the metal, whatever you call those things, you hit those, that's the noise. But when there is an energetic conversation with the universe and Gaia and the Most High, and everybody is orchestrating on a spiritual, energetic frequency, that's where the split is. The split is the ones that have buried themselves, removing the pain, removing the insult, removing the insecurity, removing people that did not get you or understood your value because of your magnificence. And your magnificence, they couldn't sit in your presence consciously without a deep conviction. So what they did is they realized when they was messing with a child of the Most High, then they disappear. But they don't disappear until they try to attach that energy onto you. And that's why we were doing that intense healing and integrating and removing these deep attachments that bear their self in the feminine energy in her heart chakra, which is connected to her soul. And that's why when she gets so deep with a man, it surrenders her. It surrenders her to her feminine essence. Now think about this, you guys. To her feminine essence. So when she begins to love that man, her essence begins to surrender. And when her essence surrender and they see that surrender, then that's when the game begins. So we kind of like, we've been doing all this work, you guys. We have been challenged. We have been challenged psychologically, emotionally, physically. We have been assaulted at times. Why? Why, you guys? It is because I do not, like, this is such a real, I am so open right now. And I'm okay with you seeing that experience. Because to know, to divinely know from the bottom of your feet to the top of your head, you have had this evolution that is going to change your life. It's going to change your life. Hear me. Save this message, because this period in time of your life is the cleansing of the attachments that try to attach itself energetically, emotionally to your lower self, to keep you not thinking for yourself. And it is so important right now. And any female under the sound of my voice, I want you to truly understand this. There has been such a deep, deep attack against the Yeshua. The Yeshua. She is the essence of life because she brings water to a barren land. You can take that metaphysical, or you can take it in the sense of being at the Red Sea. Even though you see the water, it is undrinkable and you cannot swim in it. So think about what is going on right now. People, we are being forced. You have a choice to go enjoy and learning the lessons through this experience. You have a choice. Or you can kick and scream and kneel and pull at the try to break out. It's like trying to break out of Alcatraz and you got all that water. And what's happening? We're going through the process that is elevating us. But the reason it had to come through relationships, what I have understandably begin to understand when I'm coaching the masculine energy, that I was more effective to the masculine energy after they had a breakup. And the reason is after they have a breakup. Number one, they can't handle the breakup because the breakup, their relationship is a part of their ego. And so when you come in and they fall in love, or there has been an injury of the soul, and women have the same thing, but women deal with it very differently. What happens with a man, he gets angrier and meaner and more disconnected. When it happens to a woman, she begins to ball up into a fetus because she is so broken that it's almost like when her mother gave birth to her and she went through the birthing canal, she still remembers the pain. So it's so interesting that she deals with the breakup deep, deep, deep in her heart, and that makes her curl up. A man deals with a breakup with his ego. But what happens if he really falls in love and he really loves this woman and she hurts him? Now he's in his heart, because it's a different thing. It's not like a brutal hurt. It's a hurt of regret. And then when a person is regretting, they're trying to convince themselves that they don't have the right to regret. So it's just like battle. So what I started understanding is that when we started doing our cleansing, when we started taking away all these attachments, we were not spellbound by their emotions. Check this out, you guys. If you females can get this, then you will understand a man. And this is why you will understand a man. We are always trying to read a book, How to Understand a Man. We are always trying to, go to a class, read a book, okay? The best thing to being able to understand a man is through your healing. Because when you begin to heal in a ultimate level to you just literally surrender. You literally surrender into your feminine energy. And what happens when a woman goes into her feminine womb? She activates her intuition on a very profound level. And that's why when you are with this man, and those are the men that women may cry, because of the factor, you're not textbook loving him. You're not textbook trying to get to know his psyche. You are not trying to go to a psychic or go to somebody to touch that masculine energy, because you can't analytically love a man. It's kind of funny. You can't analytically love a man. You must be so detached from relationships that did not serve you. And this is the same thing with a man, because if a man is in his more feminine energy, he just the same. But when you heal and you detach from all these attachments, because these attachments keep you in a dark place, what happens, you begin to elevate your consciousness, that your intuition becomes king. And then what's so interesting about it, when you're truly loving yourself, then you're not afraid to emerge into someone else. Because no longer are you giving your power, you're administering healing. And that's totally different. And in order to administer healing, you must be healed before you get your doctorate, before you get your degree, before you become a doctor, before you become a surgeon, before you become a healer, to be able to heal men. Because what's going on, it's the Red Sea out there. And as I was doing my coaching, I started realizing that men that had this kind of like experience, I had to understand and understand that why these certain men have a tendency that during a breakup, they're more receptive to healing. They're more open to talk about their feelings. Why? Because the broken heart brings balance to the feminine and the masculine energy. So that separation causes the heart to cry, the heart to need, the heart to want, the heart to make them feel all those emotions. So when I'm doing coaching, these men are literally desiring balance to the connection with themselves, because it's almost like women are having a hard time. And I'm just gonna say, y'all gonna don't get mad, but I'm just gonna say, if you're predominantly, and this is to the females, if you're predominantly in your masculine energy, you're not healed. If you too much in your feminine energy, that you crying all the time and you sad all the time, you're not healed. Healing becomes balance. Healing, a man is in his masculine and feminine energy, and he ain't saying, I'm a man, I'm a man. You know, I gotta have big trucks, I gotta have muscles, I gotta have this, I gotta have that. There's no need. Because men that embody that, that's the power. Because they're not afraid to even stand up and say it. Those are the men that you should desire. Because those men will also see you intuitively. He will feel when your menstrual is coming on. He will know when that's happening, that you desire nurturing. When everyone is healed and they're working on it, because let me get it straight, we're always on the journey of healing. But when you start elevating on a more higher frequency, there is this emotional, intellectual maturity that happens to you. And then you're able to be able to identify when you're in your relationship, is this his trauma or my trauma? Or if it's us both triggering each other. And then you can come together. But it's so interesting. Unhealed men, especially if it's their mother, if an unhealed man does not like his mother, he will just sleep around so he can validate the masculine energy that she stole from him. Or he'll become a brute because he want to prove to every woman that he's masculine. But those men that are tapped into both sides of themselves. Those are the men that walk into a room gallantly. And what's so interesting, they don't even know how gallant they are. It's the men in their egos that think they walk into a room and they're the bomb.com. Women, I'm gonna just let you know. I'm just gonna let you know. I'm just gonna let y'all know. I'm gonna let y'all know. And this is out of love. Women don't care what you make. Women don't care what your cars. Women don't care about those things. Not a woman in balance. She cares about your character. She cares that are you a man of your word? Are you a nurturer? Because men that don't have these things are irresponsible in everything else. That's why responsible men have money. They are tapped into all of them. They don't even realize that they're tapped into their feminine energy because our society has dumbed that down out of them. But if you understandably know that true relationships is all about spiritual evolution, because when you tap into your spiritual evolution, your frequency is electricity. His frequency is electricity. And when you have high frequency, you literally have the tarot card, the world card. And whatever you desire that is to the well being of humanity is yours. You don't have to wish it in, you don't have to mantra it in. You just have to show it by how you walk in the world. And all of a sudden, things will just start flying into to like hitting you in the head, and you're shocked. Hi, how are you? I am so sorry. I was so caught in my conversation. And you guys, I'm really I really feel like this is important. So it's not that I'm ignoring you or anything. I know you guys there. I want to be a blessing, but I really believe this will help you, because this shift is actually separating us. Thank you for the hearts. This shift is actually separating us. So it's separating us by frequency. That's why I'm saying, just because somebody says they this, they that, is that, go by their frequency. And the reason this frequency is all electric, think about our quantum field. It's electricity, it's energy. Every aspect of us is electricity. It's just like a lightning bolt. That's a frequency. But the frequency is so high that if we get in the line of fire, it could burn right through us. And I don't know if you realize this, they keep raising the frequency. And I know the sensitives are having a hard time because we're getting these ringing in the ears. When I'm out in the middle of nowhere, I don't get that. I am so sensitive to frequency. And I don't even know if I could talk about this here because if y'all not raising y'all frequency, y'all not gonna hear you're not gonna hear. You're gonna like, what are you hearing? Like I went out last weekend and I went into this one dance hall, and the it was so high that I literally had to plug my ears because when you begin to go into a frequency change, that's when you will see your tribe. You'll know your tribe. Like, just like I'm sitting here. Y'all sitting here and we can feel each other because that's what frequency does. The more you begin to get in your timeline of your people, you will be able to be sitting next to them and hear what they're telling you. They don't even have to speak because your frequencies are aligned. And so what's happening is that this shift, that's why it's all this man against woman, woman against man, and then to keep people on a low vibration. Because the more you, and I think I told you guys when I first started this channel, it's embarrassing. I am very embarrassed about it. Now that I think about it, it's very embarrassing. When I started this channel about the masculine and the feminine energy, y'all, I was so immersed in my masculine energy, I couldn't even breathe. And one night, I was having a conversation with the Most High. I felt like an imposter. I felt like an imposter because my heart wanted to help the masculine and the feminine energy get together, but I was still in my unhealed energy. And so look at some of my videos. Look at some of the videos. I was so in my unhealed energy. And as I began to heal, I began, and this is so crazy, you guys. I was so in my masculine energy that I would literally cry because I didn't know how to help men. I didn't know like how to help them. I go like, why they're having this outlash with me? Why? And I wanted to understand because the whole reason I'm doing this, because I love us. I love us. Not him, her, and yeah, I love us. That's what it's about. I love us. And I go like, how can I convey that when I am not healed? So that's when I came to y'all. And I said, y'all, we doing a noni fast. And that noni fast turned into 3 freaking years. Three. I didn't even realize that it was that long. But it was 3. It's been 3 freaking years. And in between those 3 freaking years, I have healed, literally healed over 35 men in a year. I was looking at my numbers. And I wouldn't have been able to do that without healing. And when you heal from that energy, you have such a total perspective of the human condition. It takes a lot. It takes a lot, you guys, for a man to impress me. It takes a lot. I could count. Oh, it hasn't been since I've done my OnlyFans. Not impressive. Because a man that is broken and uniquely healed, casting away the dominance of his masculine energy, because it has to be in balance for him to shine. What's that king's name? If anybody can, what's that king name that built the Taj Mahal? And if you notice his wealth, like they have to guard that castle. He was by far maybe the most wealthiest man ever. But he was so deeply in love with the princess that he could not contain it within him. So he gave her a outward manifestation of what he was feeling in his heart that he could not articulate the way he wanted to. So he became an artist, because that was the best way he can express his love. And the reason he could express his love, because she was balanced in her masculine and feminine energy, so she could like intuitively know him, heal him, nurture him, serve him. And what's so beautiful about being out of the ego when you're with your divine, it's like how Mary in the Bible, when Jesus came into the synagogue or the house, and she would wash his feet. Do you think the woman today would do that? Because they so in their masculine energy. And it wasn't out of weakness. It was that was out of strength. When a person is totally healed, they're able to give with no conviction, because they're doing it from the depth of their need, from the depth of their want, from the depth of their giving. And everybody's getting healed. And I remember, I have this little picture. I remember my dad. My dad used to love to wash my mom's hair. That was his little thing he had. But check this out. When he hurt my mother, I remember this, and I was a small child. I probably was like, I think I was in junior high. My mom, they had a fight. My dad would take, it was four of us. So my dad would take my brother and my sister. My mom would take me and my other brother when they would have a fight. And so they had this one fight. And this was a big fight because my mom grabbed me and my brother up and she flew us to Chicago. We went to Chicago. And I remember I was there a summer. A school year in a summer. And I'm sitting there, I'm on the couch, and my mom is telling my auntie, her sister, about this fight. My uncle comes in, and all of a sudden my mom goes, Fred, give me some clippers. I'm like, what the heck? So she says this, and my uncle said, what do you need with the clippers? She goes, I need the clippers. So he brings the clippers, and my mom told my uncle to shave her head. To shave her head. And I was going like, oh my God, because my dad loved her hair. My dad loved her hair. So I was just like, no, this is not happening. And my uncle, he put a guard on it. She goes, oh, no, 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 no. I want it down. And he's like telling my mom, no. He goes, man, I was talking about my dad was going to lose his mind. She did it so short. Like, it was bald. And then she took that hair, she put it in a Ziploc bag, and she sent it to my dad. That's what a hurt woman will do. She sent him that hair. And for years, my mom would laugh about it. My mom hasn't had long hair ever since. She's like, ever since. But that's what trauma does. But the opposite happens. So this split is causing us to find our frequency. And it's in finding that frequency, we are able to admit love, understanding, peace, surrender. It's a beautiful thing. And you know how it is when you see people, like even if you see like a bunch of girls hanging out together and they jump up and scream and hug each other, don't that make you feel amazing to watch people be happy? Don't you see that how amazing when you see two old couples walking down the street taking care of each other? Don't you think that's amazing when you see someone love their dog, And that's what has to happen. So this is why we're having this conflict. This is why I just say to the feminine energy, girls, heal so you can tap into that frequency to be able to intuitively, by design, because you're tapped into source, to know, to know, to know your man. No book is going to teach you that. No therapy is going to teach you that. Therapy is good, but you have to be healed, if you get what I'm saying. And you will realize. So as I'm even saying that, I'm saying this to everyone. When you do this work, you will not desire a lot of people. And don't get afraid. It's okay. It's because you're no longer meeting people by how they look, how they smile, what they say. You're getting to know their frequency. And if their frequency don't match up with you, bye-bye. Because they're not meant for you. And that's how you stay out of those toxic situations, because now you're back in tune with your intuition. And that's female and male. You are back into your intuition. So I am so glad you guys let me share this with you. And check out my merch in my bio. I'm an Amazon influencer. And I haven't done my ebook yet, but it will be up there soon. I've just been so busy. And also, what else? Don't forget about my website. It's www.heygorgeousyou.com. And I think it's in the merch too. I think my website is in there. So thank you so much for showing up, showing out. Please like and follow, share this if you think it can help someone. But girls, the more you elevate yourself, the closer you will balance yourself. You have a very good night.